Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday, the 4th of November 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 finished the day up 0.5% to 6,892 points. It opened lower and then pretty much spent the rest of the day climbing higher. The energy companies did best, followed by the materials groups. Healthcare and telcos were the worst performing sectors. Woodside was among the best of the large caps, up 4%, while Santos rose 2%. The banks were mixed, though Commonwealth Bank finished down 1.4%. CSL was another underperformer, dropping 1%. The big miners were strong, with Fortescue up 4% and BHP and Rio Tinto both 2% higher. Telstra was the best performer yesterday, not so today. It dropped more than 1% and was the worst among the large caps. Most of the major retailers ended up in the black. It was a big day for Block, which is the US company that bought Afterpay. Its September quarter result, announced overnight, beat expectations on Wall Street, sending its share price soaring. By the close today, Block shares that trade on the ASX were up more than 11%. Easily the best on the day. The coal companies have been sold off a bit in recent sessions, but were back with vengeance today. Coronado Gold, New Hope and Whitehaven all performed strongly. Worst on the day was Gold Digger Ramelius Resources. Story number 2, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was out and about today taking on big business. He warned energy suppliers that the government will force them to cooperate to lower prices if necessary. He also accused the resources industry of hypocrisy over a multi-million-dollar campaign against multi-employer bargaining that was reported this morning in The Australian. Apparently, the sector is preparing to launch a print, radio and TV campaign opposing that aspect of the government's industrial relations bill. Mr Albanese noted that the sector had money to throw at a campaign, but not enough to pay workers better. Story number 3, Pendal's outgoing chief executive Nick Good believes the fund manager's merger with Perpetual is legally binding, meaning the last-minute bid by a consortium for Perpetual can't succeed. Now, Pendal and Perpetual have been working on a merger for about 6 months, and yesterday a consortium, which includes fund manager Regal Partners and private equity group BPEA, lobbed a bid for Perpetual, sending its share price soaring and Pendal's tumbling. Mr Good is reported to have said the contract between the two fund managers is legally binding, and both companies want that deal to go ahead. His comments came as Pendal announced a 17% jump in underlying profit for the 12 months to the end of September. Assets under management fell by about 25% though, mostly due to market movements. Pendal's share price closed up about 0.5%. Story number 4, the federal government is looking at rolling out a national identity system in an effort to slow identity theft. Finance Minister Katie Gallagher wants to work with the state digital ministers to roll out the program. An ID system would make it easier for businesses to verify a person's identity and eliminate the need for companies to collect stuff like licenses and passport numbers. Canberra has established a digital identity system to streamline access to government services such as Medicare and the Tax Office, underpinned by the MyGov website. But legislation that was drafted by the Morrison government still needs to be passed to allow the digital ID to be used more broadly by the private sector. And finally, story number 5, the share price of local tech hero Atlassian tumbled more than 20% in after-hours trading on Wall Street this morning after it released disappointing earnings and outlook statements. It's easy to forget that Mike Cannon-Brookes has a day job, and that's as CEO, or co-CEO at least, of Atlassian, along with Scott Farquhar. While revenue in the September quarter was up more than 30%, projections for the current December quarter disappointed. Atlassian essentially provides collaboration software, and the number of companies taking up paid plans and employees using them dropped. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 4th of November 2022. Michael Thompson, Adam Lang and I will be back tomorrow morning with a weekend edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.